Welcome back to Premsy TV. The season is finally over. There's been many ups, many downs, and ultimately we didn't get our hands on the title. And we're going to dive into it, discuss it. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts around it. But first of all, make sure you're smashing a like on this video, subscribe if you're new people. Let's touch on the game first of all. 5-0 Wolves, Emirates Stadium, last day. A little bit too little too late, as I keep saying over the last couple of weeks. However, good performance, clinical performance. It was like a kickabout in the park with the lads. Nothing really coming from Wolves' side. Arsenal could have scored plenty more goals if we wanted to. We've had a goal ruled out as well from Thomas Partey. But look, we just got to sit back now and kind of reflect on the season as a whole. I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans that are disappointed. I'm one of them Arsenal fans that are disappointed as well how the season's panned out, especially going out the cup competitions early and kind of just absolutely capitulating and folding towards the back end of the season to Manchester City. We're 5 points off them. However, don't think don't think that if they would have not already won the league, that we would be more points off them, because they just kind of rested players and kind of fannied around towards the back end of the last two games and the end of the season. So that's why it looks a bit more healthier than what it was. But we've got no one else to blame but ourselves this season. You know, whether you blame it on squad depth, whether you blame it on not bringing in enough players in January or down to injuries, the bottom line of it is we got ourselves to blame. But we can't let this affect us as a fan base, affect us as a team. We do have a foundation to build on, and we can look at some of the good things that we've done this season and take that forward moving into next season. Because the one thing I think all Arsenal fans can agree on is that we wanted to be challenging for a lot of years. You get me? Either it's been a situation where we've been fighting for top four or we're fighting for Europa League, and it's just not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. This season, we can honestly say that we've actually gone out there and we've put a fight in, and we've gone out and challenged for the league, which I'm happy about. But we need to build now. The summer's going to be key. We have to really go and look to strengthen. I keep touching on it, just like what kind of Liverpool done that season when they brought in Van Dijk, Fabinho, and Alisson. We need to have the same kind of window. Undoubtedly, there is going to be players leaving Arsenal Football Club. As we've seen, it looks like Granit Xhaka's bowing out of the club. You've seen from his emotions and the kind of his presence on the pitch and how he was, that this is his last game. I think they interviewed Saka as well towards after the game, and he kind of cocked up a little bit because he goes, the presenter asked him, "Is this Xhaka leaving? Can you tell us anything?" And he goes, "No." But then he then goes on to say, "I'm happy Xhaka's finished it this way." And then he's kind of like gone back on himself or whatnot. So that just kind of confirms Granit Xhaka is going. It's good for him to get 2 goals today. You get me? He's give the fans something before he's left. But if we take a step back and look at Granit Xhaka's whole time at Arsenal, 7 years, 8 years, it's not really been good enough. We could definitely do better than Granit Xhaka. Yeah, this season he's improved. The new roles kind of suited him. But if we can get a bit of money for him, bring in some money for him and go out there and invest it into the squad, go and bring in better players now, because I want to see big progression from this season. I don't just want to see us dwelling on, oh, we could have nearly won the league last season and that's enough. That's not enough. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Arsenal next season going into the Champions League, a lot of pressure on the manager as well, because if he fails to deliver us a trophy or kind of have the same kind of title challenge this year, and if we get dumped out the Champions League early and end back up in the Europa, it's not going to be happy and it's not going to be pretty. There's a lot of Arsenal fans already calling for his head right now. Everyone knows where I stood with Arteta when he first came in and his first couple of seasons. I didn't want him, was very vocal about it. But this season, he's kind of shown me that maybe have a little bit of patience with him and potentially see what he could do next season, because I don't think anyone expected Arsenal to challenge this year. I definitely didn't expect us to challenge, and we've put a strong title charge in. For me, 30 games, very good. 8 games after that, we folded. Simple as that. Bottled it, whatever you want to call it. That's what we've done. But now we need to see what we're going to do moving forward in the summer, because there is some good key components to the team that we got. Like for me, man of the match today was Martin Odegaard. I thought Odegaard played very well. He's very nimble. He's a tricky. He's a dynamo of a player, and we can build a team around somebody like a Martin Odegaard. We see Arteta's trying out a new system as well. Obviously, I think it's due to injuries, of course, but we've seen Pep Guardiola doing it, playing with like a back three and having the midfielder kind of dropping back into the right back position, which Thomas Partey was deployed in doing, not in just this game, but last game as well. And I think today it worked a lot better. But are we going to do that next season? I don't think so. Is he trying a few tactics now that we've got nothing to play for? Maybe. And I don't mind him doing that because we definitely need a plan B. And if that could be one of his plan Bs moving forward into next season, then happy days, because we definitely need that plan B. For people that haven't seen my end of season review with Robbie, I've actually posted that on my channel a couple of days ago, and I've gone into a little bit of detail in regards to a plan B and stuff like that. So make sure you go and watch that. It was quite a good a stream, to be fair. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I respect everyone's opinion. So if you do watch it, please make sure you be respectful, because I have noticed a lot of comments. People are just, they're on a mad thing. And I can understand that people are upset and they're in disarray because it hurts not winning the league. Totally understandable. But look, we've got to stick together as a fan base now, because we've turned a leaf as a fan base. We've turned a leaf as a club, in my opinion, where the club has been disarray for so many years. This year, you felt real positivity, real connection between everybody, and we need that to grow and develop. We can't just expect one season for us to stick together and the next season for us to fall apart. You have a strong unit if you have a strong foundation, and us fans are the foundation of this club. Yeah, I'm not saying next season, if you're not happy, don't voice your opinion, because I probably will. I'll probably voice my opinion in the middle of the season if things ain't going the way I wanted it to go. But I think Arteta has earned himself now this season moving forward and this summer to see what he can do on this particular squad. For me, if he can't build on it and we can't go and win silverware, then we're going to have to seriously look on moving him out and bringing a new manager in that can take us to that next level. However, we just got to be focused on the summer. We got to stay positive, and like I said, stay connected as a fan base. Nobody fuck around, nobody get at each other's neck, because social media, there's a lot of wankers on social media. I'll be honest with you, excuse my French, but that's how it is. And Tom, Dick and Harry says this, that and the other, and realistically, if you've seen people in real life, you won't even be giving that kind of talk. So just keep it respectful and stick together as a fan base, people. That's what I say. But I'm not saying don't have your opinion. Have your opinion, because everyone's entitled to it. And I'm not saying everyone's opinion's wrong, but just let's try to hold it out a little bit. You get me? That's what my message is towards the end of the season. I will get into some of the comments as well. Big up everybody in the comments as well. Like I said, make sure you're smashing a like on this video, people. But look, we got to take a step back and see how this season kind of unfolded. I think at the start of the season, blistering, going up to the World Cup, we was having a very good run, brushing teams aside. Brilliant football as well. You get me? I think this year I've seen some of the best football I've seen Arsenal play in a very long time. Get me? I think that's down to Arteta's system and the way we've been pressing and trying to really take the front foot and the initiative in games, which is exciting to see. On the other hand, I do think that we can see too many goals, especially after the World Cup. We were leaking in a lot of goals. Before that, we had one of the best defensive records. Prior to the World Cup, defensively, we were pretty shocking, to be fair. And that's something we need to nip in the bud. We need to keep more clean sheets. We need to be able to stop that transition as well, because when we lose the ball in the attacking areas, they're just on the back of our defence. And that's where it costs us in a lot of games, because we've conceded quite a few goals now. And we need to definitely be eradicating that out of the game. If you want to win titles, defence is key. You get me? Winning titles, we just seen with Man City, they brought in Akanji, Aki at left back. They've been so much more defensively sound as well, where before you could get at Man City, but now even in transition, you can't get at Man City. And that's where we need to be aiming to. We need to be looking at Man City and trying to ellipse them and get better than them, and not just be on the same level as them. I know it's going to be hard because of the financial power that they got, but that's what we need to do. We need to be looking to be better than Man City. And if we recruit well and smart, there's no reason why we can't be. Look at Brighton. They've recruited very smartly over the years, got some top quality players in there. And it looks like Caicedo, he's going to be getting sold for big money. There's numerous players in there. McAllister, what's his name? Matoma. There's loads of players in that squad that have cost pennies. and yet can get sold for big money. So we need to be smart with what we do. We need to go out there and sign a few names that are recognised and experienced and hungry, i.e. Declan Rice. And for me, a striker is key in the summer. We definitely need to be going out there and buying a striker, because Gabriel Jesus is not a striker, in my opinion. Yeah, he got his goal today, fantastic header. But I think you see the best of Gabriel Jesus when he's coming off the wings. I don't think you see the best of him directly up front. We've seen today him and Trossard had a lot of interchange in play up front, and it was quite mixed up there. So at times you're seeing Odegaard leading the attack and pressing. So I think if we had a big striker, somebody that can offer us something different in the game, give us a little bit of a different dynamic when it's going against us, that would definitely benefit us. With Granit Xhaka going, personally, I think there's potential that Emil Smith Rowe will be going as well, because 60 minutes in, you got to bring on Emil Smith Rowe when you're 4-5-0 up. You know what I mean? 4-0 up. That doesn't give me no positive signs to say that he's going to be staying. It looks like Kieran Tierney's going to probably be going as well, which I'll be very vexed about. For me, he's our proper left back that we got, and the only decent defender at left back, because Zinchenko, he might be great going forward, but defensively, he's shocking. That's just the God's honest truth. So if we let go of him, I'm not going to be happy, but we need to know and bring in the vital players now that are going to push us to the next level. And I think we need to do the business early. There's no point waiting towards the back end of the fucking transfer window, the transfer deadline day, to save a little bit of money and get players that are a better deal. Run all that, get the players in the door early, let everyone integrate fast, understand the style of play and the system that needs to be played, have a fantastic pre-season with your full squad already ready to go into the season and battle it out, because Champions League is going to be a mad thing. You get me? We're going to be in pot two, so it's better than being in pot three, but it's still going to be difficult. You get me? And we do not want to be falling back into the Europa League. We want to make a statement in the Champions League this year. And you know what? Being out of it for many years, it could work one of two ways. Either it could push us on and it's something new that we've not experienced in many years, and we could lose that fear factor of playing big teams because we haven't played them year in, year out, getting spanked, and we can do well in the Champions League. Or it's going to be too much pressure to handle and we can end up folding real quick. So hopefully it's the first one, but we're going to have to wait and see how that works out. I personally prefer playing every 3 days rather than getting knocked out of competitions early, because then you could keep some consistency in your game. And if you lose a game, you can bounce back quickly and not have to sit down and dwell on it for a week, which can mentally fuck you up. And if we look at this season, we've had like weeks between games because we've been out of pretty much every cup competition pretty early. It kind of sorts your head out. You get me? Like, it's one of them where you have to sit and dwell on these results, and mentally, these players need to come back stronger next season. 110%. We need to come back stronger. But it's a mad thing. Let's get into some of the comments as well. Big up to everybody in the cut. Yo, big up to yourself, bro. Akib, big up, bro. Yes, Premsy, big shout for all the content this season, my bro. Respect. I will be doing more content during the summer, or transfer news and stuff like that. I'll be throwing out Premier League Unpacked tomorrow. Hopefully, I will update the Mandem and let you know what time that should be. But that will be one of the last ones that we do for this season as Premier League's ended. There will be like special episodes here and there to just catch up on what's going on in the Premier League and stuff like that. 30 mins Arsenal as well. We're going to try to throw that out as much as we possibly can, and discuss transfers and stuff like that on the show with my guy Harry. And then other than that, we're going to be doing little bits and bobs. I'm going to try to start bringing a bit more of the boxing content, 12 rounds prep with Premsy. Try to get a few more boxing guests on there as well during the summer as well, and try to lift that podcast. So keep an eye out for that. Premsy, I just woke up from a coma. Who won the league again? Bro, I'm telling you, I think you already know who won the league. Get me? I think you probably would have heard in your coma. Sharks and all of that, bro. So it's a mad thing. Arsenal need to start taking cup competitions more seriously. 110%. We definitely do. I do not want to see us fucking around next season and getting knocked out of cup competitions. Makes no sense for me. We can't be one of them clubs that just think, or Carabao Cup, FA Cup, all these kind of cups, that now we're too big for that, because we're not too big for that. Simple as that. People talk about Manchester United winning the Carabao Cup, Tin Pot Trophy, and all that. For me, they've had a better season than us. If you look at it in the aspect of who's got better progression going in the league and as a club, I would say Arsenal. But if you look at achievements this season, They've won a trophy. They've got top four. We haven't done that apart from get top four. So that's just my God's honest truth. Big up. Tyrell Madison is too good. Man, need to see him at a big team. Saying Madison, you know what? I think Madison's going to Newcastle, though. I'll be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? I'll take Madison in a heartbeat, but he's definitely going to Newcastle, in my opinion. I could just see that happening. It's been linked for a while now, and Newcastle are in the Champions League. They've got money to offer. I'd like to see him at the club, and him and Odegaard can be that kind of rotation in the middle of the park, because sometimes Odegaard isn't fully at it. But I can see us going in for a Gundogan, a Rice, and a Casado. And if we go in and get them three midfielders, I'll be buzzing. For me, we bring in them three, bring in a striker, and bring in another defender. We need 5, 6 solid players. Keep the existing players that we got as well, barring the likes of Granit Xhaka that probably move on, and we'll be happy with that. But I think there's going to be a lot more to it, because I can see, like I said, Tierney going. There's talks of Thomas Partey leaving. So the squad looks like it might be ripped out in certain senses, but we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Ramsey, we need more squad strength and depth to be contenders for top four next season. But well done to the players. Big up, my brother. To be fair, I want to see us challenging next season. I don't want to see us looking at this and thinking we need to be top four contenders next season. We need to be challenging. We need to definitely be building on this season. I want to see us being serious in the Champions League, not just there to make up numbers, serious in the Premier League. And again, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, can't be fucking around in them competitions as well. Go out there and get them, because at the end of the season, if you don't win the big ones, at least you can look back and think, you know what? I won a Carabao Cup, I won an FA Cup. For me, FA Cup's a prestigious cup. You get me? Oldest cup competition in the world. You know what I mean? That's something that's connected to us as well. We won it the most times. I don't want to see us fucking around in that competition as well. QA Guna says we have improved, but now we need to build on this for next season. 110. Big up, my bro. See you in the cut. Zayn Miasi, big up for the Super Chat. Champions League is ours next season, bro. I hope you're right. You get me? I think that if we go and we can just, I'm not say put all our eggs in the basket, but if we go and take it serious and don't start playing second string teams and go in there with no fear, we don't know where it can lead us and where it can take us. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you're right. But all depends on the summer. All depends on who we sign in. Definitely. Yes, Wilson, I see you in the cut, my bro. As an Arsenal fan, I have to say that the Gunners have been absolutely brilliant this season. I felt that in the last month, our mistakes and complacencies cost us 110%, bro. I tell you straight up, that's exactly what it is. I'm guessing that's where's them Tottenham at, though. Tottenham are just disgraceful, mate. I'm telling you, absolutely disgraceful. I can't see them improving anytime soon. They can't even get a manager. It's a mad thing. Guna till I die and beyond. Mikel has brought back my passion for this club. My gaffer, it's going to be big pressure on your gaffer, though. I'll tell you that much next season. He needs to get it right in the summer window, and we really need to excel and push on from where we are now. Otherwise, there's going to be big questions asked. I'll tell you that much for free. But yeah, I agree. He's definitely took us to newer heights, and now we're in the conversation of challenging for the league rather than sitting there looking to fight for top four. So that's all testament to him and testament to the players that he's brought in and the system that he's playing at the moment. But we definitely need that plan B. Definitely need that plan B, because in games we come unstuck and we need to fix that up real quick. Xhaka has gone out with his head held high. Salute to Xhaka. Now, big up to Granit Xhaka. He's done well this season, but if you look at the whole of his time at Arsenal, it's been a bumpy ride, and I wouldn't say he's been the most consistent or the most professional player that we've had at the club. Yeah, he's been hard. He's been one of them tough men, and he doesn't let anyone take the piss out of him or his teammates, which I like. But at times, he's took the piss out of the fans. He hasn't been giving us quality performances, and he's been a liability at times. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for Granit Xhaka, but it is what it is. I've always said we can move on from him and get better. I personally would have kept him on the bench as squad depth personally, because he's got a lot of experience and he understands and knows the club. But I would have definitely brought in somebody to replace him next season as a starter. But if he wants to go, get a new challenge, happy days. If anybody wants to leave the club, just fucking give them the bag and let them go, because I've had enough of Arsenal holding and trying to fight onto players that want to leave. It's a mad thing. Wilson, I cannot believe Man City lost to Brentford. That was absolute madness. To be fair, bro, they've only lost to Brentford because they've already won the league and the motivation in the Premier League's gone. Best believe if they didn't already win the league and it come down to the last day, they wouldn't have dropped points in the last 2 games. To tell you that much for 3 people. Well, look, I'm going to cut now. It's the end of the season. Make sure you stay logged into Premsy TV over the course of the summer. There's going to be loads of content coming out. Just go and follow me on Instagram at Premsy_AFC. The name is there on the screen as well. So go and follow me on Instagram as well to keep up to date with what I'm doing, people. But look, all in all, we are disappointed in how the season's ended. But like I said, we got to just take the positives from this season, build on it in the summer, and come back stronger next season. Stick together as a fan base. That's the most important thing, because there is positives to take. The trajectory of the club from many years is definitely on an upward spiral. So let's take that as a positive and just keep pushing forward, people. But make sure you smash a like on this video before you get out. Subscribe if you're new, people. Peace and love, and we'll see you soon.